Welcome back to another episode of Piping Up. This is the 8th and final episode at Wilkes-Barre and Scranton. Today we are here at Elm Park United Methodist Church. Behind us is the massive organ, and the organist that plays this organ is George Simmons. George, thanks so much for having us here today.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for coming.
Certainly. And tell us a little bit about the organ behind us and a little bit about you.
Okay, well, we'll probably skip me.
Okay, no worries. We can skip you.
But I was going to start, before I talk about the organs, just mention a little bit about the storied history of this church, which goes back approximately 180 years. It wasn't called Elm Park, but that congregation at the time was called the Village Chapel. I don't know much about it, but it was in Scranton. Then the congregation grew and grew. I think they were meeting in homes and they needed a larger place. So in 1891, they purchased this triangular plot of land, which is bordered by Jefferson Avenue, Linden Street, and Madison Avenue. And they purchased it from William W. Scranton. The church broke ground on the new building in September 1891. Construction continued through the summer, and they had planned a big opening and a concert for December 1892, when the first tragedy happened. The building caught on fire.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, isn't that
That's
wonderful,
great.
right? Well, the church vowed that they were going to rebuild, so work continued through the spring of 1983, and church officials again began preparing for an opening ceremony. Then another fire tore through the building, destroying everything inside, only leaving the walls of the church and the roof. Well, that was very suspicious timing, and apparently you can find it in the news of the day that the authorities arrested the watchman for the church, and he was charged with arson. I've heard two different stories. One was that the lot that the church purchased was somehow the family of the watchman thought it was legally theirs. I also read in the paper that as the watchman of the building and construction, he was afraid when church opened, he'd lose his job. So that's the story. So they rebuilt it again and managed in that same year to finally dedicate the building in 1893. The organ that was here at that time, the original instrument, was constructed in 1893 by the Farron and Vody Organ Company from Detroit, Michigan. Unfortunately, it lasted over a century.
Right.
A bit over a century. But the leathers had deteriorated, wind chests were cracked. There were all kinds of irregular wind pressures causing out of tune. Instruments couldn't play with the organ. So they finally decided that they're going to have a new organ, which is our wonderful Reuter organ here. In 1995, they removed the Vody, and we have a picture of that. Okay, and then they built the Reuter organ and that company is from Kansas. The organ is of English contemporary design. It has 3,015 pipes, 53 ranks, and two 12-note electronic voices used for the 32-foot gedect and the 32-foot sub-bass. The full organ culminates in the 8-foot English tuba on 20 inches of wind pressure, which is enclosed in the choir division, which surprises me. From my experience, the choir division of an organ has some of the softest stops, and we do have some soft ones.
And it is notoriously known for being one for choir.
Right,
pieces,
and then if
you throw something big on it.
Yeah, but you heard out the tuba in there?
Yep.
Is the loudest stop. I wish Ben were here because I would have asked him. I think that sound of the tuba is like a state trumpet would be in another cathedral. But when you look at the back of our church, it's rounded and has stained glass windows. So they couldn't install something there, simply my opinion. So we have it up here instead.
Yep.
The air supply for the organ is provided by a 5-horsepower blower with 2 half-horsepower booster blowers for the increased wind pressure for that tuba, and 32-foot Poussin. basically, that's what I have to tell you about a little bit of the church history I know and a little bit about the organ.
And I think it was a good update for this organ. I mean, it fits the space wonderfully.
Yeah.
I think, and you guys have choirs regularly here, I think, and
We have a choir.
Yep, that's a big thing for them.
And some of the original organs, pipes are on the facade, particularly on that left wing. And then other pipes were made to match them so the facade looked balanced.
So how does the congregation here, how do they take the organ? Like, do they enjoy it on a Sunday morning?
Oh, yes, they do.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a big part of the worship service, for sure.
So, and you've been here for a decent amount of time. Yeah,
8 years, just finishing 8 years now.
Yep. So, and I guess, well, you enjoy playing this one. It definitely shows during recording that you enjoy playing this.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Yes, I definitely do.
Yes, you do. Yeah. And I think even the chapel organ, a little bit of that is just a little snippet of history, I think, for even the chapel organ is nice for the church.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
But you have that history.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Because you looked it up.
Yep.
You found it.
So, and all the data for this organ and for the chapel organ, you can find on the pipe organ database. Search up pipe organ database and search up the Elm Park Church, and you should be able to find it right there. Photos are going to be added to the chapel organ, courtesy of us, for you to see up close, and we'll obviously add some to the video for you to see as well. But that'll be the first time, probably since that organ's been installed, that people have actually seen anything from that organ.
Probably.
So that's going to be a big thing.
Oh, it's great.
So, yeah.
It's great what you're doing.
All right. Well, let's go inside the pipe chamber, take a look around, and see what makes this thing run. Well, welcome to the interior of the Reuter pipe organ. We are in the bottom of the organ, so we are surrounded by wind chests for every division. But if you look to the front here, you can see some of the digital stops through speakers, and this was including some of the lower notes, including some of the subwoofers and the sub basses. And it's a little dirty in here, but it's nothing terribly too crazy. More or less just a lot of wood and leather down here. So let's go up to the top where we can see each individual pipe. All right, so we are now in the grate division. So we are looking at several different ranks here. We will start here. We're looking at the mixture and the pisan, 32-foot pisan, or at least the beginning of it. There's a little bit more here, and then it continues all the way up against the wall, and it also continues up this way to complete the rank. Then we have a 16-foot principal, or at least the beginning of it, and the 16-foot sub bass down right here, center here. We have an 8-foot octave and a 4-foot choral bass on the side here as well. Just kind of continues. Then we have a 4-foot furniture, which is right in the dead center here, and it continues on. And then we have the 2-foot 15th stop, and then we have the 8-foot trumpet, which is also here as well. Continuing back, we have this spitzel flute going along the line side here, which has the triangle-shaped pipes. Get up on this board here. And now we're looking at the 4-foot octave right behind that. And then we're looking at the 8-foot Borden across the side here and all the way around behind me. We have the 8-foot principal right here as well. And then we have the 16-foot sub principal here, and there is probably more continuing around the side and the back, because this is not the complete of that. But that is the grate from here. All right, so and as we continue, we can see on the 8-foot trumpet and on the 8-foot octave and contrabass that you can see there are springs on the tuning bars, and it works well. This is a Reuter thing. It seems to be a popular thing. This is also what we saw at St. Luke's Episcopal, where it allows you to tune them, and it makes it a little bit easier to tune as well. So it seems to be kind of a thing for them, and it seems like it works quite well. As Maria said, it seems to work extremely well for tuning and keeping it, in the sense that it doesn't need to be tuned as often because of those springs. Alrighty, now we are inside the choir division, and as George mentioned, that we have the tuba inside the choir division, which is one of the quieter ranks and divisions for the most part in a choir. So you don't want something extremely loud, but it's been added to this division, which in a sense can be nice in a sense, as when I played the organ, I definitely used it more than once. So in the back is that division, at least the 8-foot tuba in the back here. This is the extremely loud one, and you can hear that at the end of his song. Then we have the 8-foot doppelflute, which is these ones right here. And as we continue, we have the Spitz principal, and that is right here as we continue. Then we have the 8-foot gedeckt, which is right here. This is the closed topped. Then we have the Celeste, which is these nice thin topped ones. As we get up. We continue on. We have the harmonic flute, which is a popular stop for the choir division for most organs. We have another 2-foot principal, and that is right up the edge here, as well as a multitude of English horns here. That also has the Reuter's special spring effect. And then it continues on the other side, the same deal. It's just a continuation of pipes. And then you can see towards the top there is a single pipe up there that is mitered at the top there. And just so it could fit inside of this enclosed chamber. And then we obviously have our shades, and very dusty for sure. Oh, and we also have a mitered pipe over on this side as well, in the same rank. Right, so what we're looking at here is the gedeckt. We're looking at here, which is made of wood. The stopped area on it. The next thing we're looking at is the Geigen principal, 8-foot, which is right here. Continuing on, we get to the next spot, which is the 8-foot viola, which is the next one up. Which would be this one here. And then we get to the 4-foot principal, which is the next one back, which is also a popular rank for an organ. And then we have the 8-foot roar flute, which is other known as the chimney flute pipe, which shockingly enough looks like it has a chimney on top of it. And then we have the viola celeste, which is a popular swell division rank. Just this one here. And then we have the 16-foot oboe, which is here, which also continues outside of the swell box here, out of the enclosed swell box. And we have the alto flute. Off to the side here, we have that one. That's this one here. We have the next, it's the 2 2/3 mansard, which is right here, which is this rank here. And then we have several others, 2 1/3 ranks along the side here, on both sides. And then we have an 8-foot trumpet, which is also sporting the spring as well. And then we have the 4-foot clarion. And then we finish this all off right here with mixture. The full mixture rank as well. And that completes the swell division all the way across. And thus concludes our 8-video series here at Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. I'd like to thank you, the viewer, for watching for the last 8 weeks. I'd also like to thank the organists and all the people that worked in the behind the scenes to help make this a reality. I'd also like to invite you to join us for the next videos as they come out, and see some more history and organs as they are filmed. My name is Stephen Regec. This has been a series with Piping Up. Thanks for watching.